What's going on, guys? It's your boy Brendan from Modern to Me, and today we are going to be learning a little bit more about strings. Actually, today we are only going to be learning about one specific method. So what this method actually is like a formatting string method. So let me just type it out. I kind of show you what it does, because unless you know what it does, it's kind of confusing just to say that it formats strings. So what you do is you type system.out.print, kind of like the same thing, but instead of ln, print f. And then just hit enter and delete everything in the parentheses. Don't worry about any of that. And let me show you what you do. So first, you can type really whatever you want in here, in your string that you want to print out. So I'm going to just type string, or I'm going to type out this is a string, and then I'm going to type percent. Actually, I'm going to type this as an integer. Sorry, I have to keep changing things on you, but this is an integer. And then %d, this is the key part here, this %d. When you type this %d, you're letting your compiler know that you really want to output an integer into this function here. And so then what you do is you pass in your integer as a parameter into this method. So I would type like 96, and you need a semicolon for it to know that you're done, and control F11. And if you look over here, you'll see this is an integer 96. This one's pretty cool. So you could put this anywhere. I could say like my favorite number is %d because it is awesome. And if I would run this, you'll see that it puts the 96 right where you want it to. So ideally, this is for if you have a variable that you don't know what it's going to be, you can use this formatting method, and it will format your string really nicely. So if you were to do like if you were to have an int variable equal to like 60, you could put this var right where this 96 is, and this will work the same way. You'll see that the 60 goes in there. So it's very handy if you have a variable that keeps changing, and you can format this string accordingly. Now you can do this with more things than just integers. There's three main ones that you should really know. There's, let me type this out. So the first one is %d for an integer. There's %s for a string, if there's a string you want to format into another string. And then there is %f for floats. So that's pretty cool. It's nice that you can do this. So let me show you just a couple other cool things you can do with this. So not only can you just do one little variable per formatting. Let me show you just a string real quick. I could say my favorite number is yellow because it is awesome. That makes absolutely no sense, but the computer doesn't know that this sentence doesn't make any sense, and it still formats it nicely, even though it might think you're an idiot. Okay, now not only can you do this, but you can actually use more than one variable per format, and it's kind of like it's not very intuitive how this works. So I'm gonna type this out also and just kind of show you system.out.printf. Okay, let me kind of think of something that makes sense. So let me say a cool quote by %s, so that it's going to expect the string to go there, talks about %d, so it's going to expect an integer to go in there. Then I'll just say ways to be happy. Okay, so you can actually do more than one variable per formatting. So if you just type comma again, it's going to expect the first parameter. So you can't go and type %s, then %d, and then put the integer, then the string into this method. What you have to do is first you have to type this string into the format. So I'll actually make variables for this. I'll say string person equal to John Smith. Why not? It's a vague name. And then I'll have an int num equal to 70. And if I type person, then num. Ooh, let if you somehow get a really, really long something like this, what you can do is you can actually just kind of hit enter, and it should format nicely for you. You can do this as long as, because this semicolon represents the end of the line, so until it sees the semicolon, it's just going to continue on looking for the method. So this is valid code. This works with the syntax of Java. So you can see that this %s is gonna say, okay, I'm looking for a string, and it's gonna see person as the first parameter, and it's gonna throw in person for the string. Then it's gonna see this %d, and it's gonna look for this integer, and then it's gonna throw this integer in the %d. So if we do that, if we do Control F11, we'll see a cool quote by John Smith talks about 70 ways to be happy. So it works exactly the way we wanted it to. So it's pretty nice to be able to do this. There's not really a limit as to how many formats with variables you can have. There's not a limit to how many variables you can have. Sorry, that's what I meant. So go crazy. Have as many variables as you want in your formatted string. So next episode, we are going to be talking about input, and it's going to be awesome. Your programs are going to become so interactive. So I'll see you guys there.